Banter FC are in the news again as Principal Ten Hag strikes once more. And the question has to be asked, does Erik Ten Hag know how to make friends? It's been reported today that Erik Ten Hag, the reason for dropping Raphael Varane from the starting lineup in previous games, despite Raphael being the best central defender at the club, despite Raphael Varane having a great run of form last season and previous to his injuries, that this wasn't a tactical decision, that this wasn't a tactical move, that this wasn't some stroke of genius from Erik Ten Hag, that actually they'd fallen out, that Erik Ten Hag had arguments, words with yet another top player at Manchester United. And this is the latest in a long list of issues that Ten Hag has had with various players, including Cristiano Ronaldo, including Jadon Sancho, including David De Gea, and now including Raphael Varane. And the question has to be asked by Manchester United and their fan base: how long do you continue to put up with Erik Ten Hag falling out with these key players, these star players? And how long before it becomes a real detriment to the club? I.e., how long is it no longer sustainable to continue to push out, sell, outcast these players before it starts to affect league performance, league positioning, and results at the end of the season? Where do they finish? Can you really afford to fall out with Raphael Varane and finish 6th, 7th? They've got a run of fixtures coming up soon. And if they go through a run of form that's akin to relegation form, they could be mid-table, they could be even lower than mid-table. Can Erik Ten Hag really afford to push these players out and have the club suffer on his behalf for his decisions, for his inability to seemingly be friends with top-level professionals? And then you have to wonder as well, is okay, let's say that they move Varane on, and maybe Casemiro, maybe they move him on as well, and maybe next for him to have an argument with is Luke Shaw, one of the best left-backs in the country. Then maybe he has a falling out with Wan-Bissaka, one of the best right-backs in the country. And then what are you left with? Bruno? He falls out with Bruno, one of the best attacking midfielders in the country. Is he then going to move on to fall out with a Rashford, Harry Maguire? You know? And then what does he do? Pick up players from the Championship because they're not going to argue with him? I think at this point, it's not prudent, it's not smart of Manchester United to continue on with a manager who, any time that they bring in a top-level professional who seems to have a good impact on the club, Varane for sure has made the defensive unit at Manchester United a hell of a lot more solid. He's a top professional. He behaves in a manner that is professional, that you would expect from a player of that caliber, somebody who's won multiple championships and multiple Champions Leagues. And yet Erik Ten Hag just doesn't seem to be able to be friends with people. And I think that there is a point that you have to decide that this manager is not capable of of managing these types of players, and therefore, if we continue on with this manager, we're never going to be that club. Because any time that we'll bring in a player that is of that caliber, or anytime we develop a player to be that caliber, there's a potential that Erik ten Hag might fall out with them. And so, not that I've ever been particularly a big fan of Erik ten Hag, particularly since the issues of Ronaldo, who I'm a big fan of. I do now think that this is a clear indicator to the ownership at Manchester United, the CEO, and anybody else who's above Erik ten Hag who can make that decision. I think it's time to move him on. Who they replace him with, I don't know. This is very new news, and it's something that I've considered only very recently, that they move him on. But I think maybe move him on, bring somebody in temporary to the end of the season, or maybe wait to the end of the season and move him on. And in the meantime, look for that replacement figure. But I think that what's different about this Ten Hag appointment is that I never really had any faith that this one would work out. And so I don't really see this as part of the cycle of bringing in a manager, having a good run of form drops off, get rid of manager, bring in new manager. I don't really see it as that, because I did have hope that previous managers would work out, and I did think that they would work out. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I thought for a period of time would work out. Unfortunately, that's not the way that it went down. But I never really thought that Ten Hag would work out, because I always thought that he was all wrong for Manchester United, that he was a good coach for Ajax, and that if he could move on to a club that's like Ajax, in which he could manage talented youngsters at maybe a club that's not so established as a Manchester United, that he would do well doing that. Basically moving on to a model that's just like Ajax, but maybe slightly bigger or in a different country. And I think it's time for Ten Hag to leave. And I think that what will likely happen is that over the course of the next few weeks, with the fixture list that they have, I don't think that he will last very long. I don't think he'll make it to Christmas. And I'll be surprised, I'll be flabbergasted if he makes it to that winter seasonal break. So let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day.